from the start, I could feel it in my heart, like all the way from the start.
Hey, what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Hope you all are doing well. Today's video, we're going to be doing some very cool things with parallel compression, but you don't need to know the science of parallel compression. Even if you don't even know what parallel compression is, I'm going to show you how we can utilize it in a very easy way that will add a lot of thickness to your mix, really bring out the 808s in your production, add some sheen and professional tone to your vocals, as well as just add that finishing touch to the stereo bus to make your mixes really pop.
Woke up this morning, my feet to the floor and the darkness is faded. And you know it comes back around like the hope I found. And when I lift you up, will you hold me down?
So let's go ahead and talk about the plugin that we're going to be using for this, which is Manny Marroquin's Tone Shaper from Waves. On the surface, you might think that this is just kind of a standard EQ plugin. It is far from that. There is a lot of very cool processing that's happening under the hood, and this is a parallel compression tool. So on the interface, we have controls for the direct signal, so we can blend that with the processed or parallel compressed signals. And then we have the parallel compression split into 4 frequency bands. We have control over the low parallel compression, the low mids, the high mids, the highs, and then finally we have a parallel processed width control that we can mix in. So let's start out with doing some parallel compression on the 808. I'm going to go ahead and disable the plugin right now, let you hear the mix, and then we'll dive in.
Woke up this morning, my feet to the floor and the darkness is faded. And you know it comes back around like the hope I found. And when I lift you up, will you hold me down? You know it keeps getting harder when we get farther away from who we were meant to be. You keep on reminding me, it don't matter who I was back then, cause we came a long way from back in the day, and that's a win.
Balanced mix, but it's quite thin right now, especially the 808. So we're going to activate Tone Shaper on the 808, and I'm also going to activate the low and the low mid parallel signals here, and we're going to blend these in. And then these numbers 1, 2, and 3 down here, some different tonalities that you can mess around with, and we'll experiment with what's going to work best. So let's compare that disabled and enabled on the 808. So a really easy way to fatten up and round out your 808 for the mix with just these 2 sliders here in Tone Shaper. So Tone Shaper is also really nice for processing the high end of a vocal. So I'm using this in a vocal chain here, and let's just hear it without anything going on. And then we're going to bring in that parallel compressed signal for the highs.
Woke up this morning, my feet to the floor and the darkness is faded. And you know it comes back around like the hope I found. And when I lift you up, will you hold me down? You know it keeps getting harder when we get farther away from who we were meant to be. You keep on reminding me, it don't matter who I was back then, cause we came a long way from back in the day, and that's a win. And if I got you by my side, then I could do it all again. Believed I'd make it through the struggles, ain't no slave to sin. You know it, before I folded, pushing me to keep going.
So immediately we get that professional high-end brightness and clean sheen to the vocal, but it's very different than just a standard EQ boost, as you've heard. I mean, there's some saturation, there's subtle things going on there in the parallel processed signal. Going down to the stereo bus, Tone Shaper obviously lends itself really well to stereo bus processing because we've got the parallel splits for each of the frequency bands. And then that width control is really nice just to add a little bit of a 3D effect to your mix bus. So let's go ahead and activate that. And then let's also bring up a little bit of the highs on the entire mix here.
Woke up this morning, my feet to the floor and the darkness is faded. And you know it comes back around like the hope I found. And when I lift you up, will you hold me down? You know it keeps getting harder when we get farther away from who we were meant to be. You keep on reminding me, it don't matter who I was back then, cause we came a long way from back in the day, and that's a win. And if I got you by my side, then I could do it all again. Believed I'd make it through the struggles, ain't no slave to sin.
All right, so just 3 plugins there on the stereo bus, the lead vocal, as well as the 808, but a massive difference in terms of how we were able to use parallel compression with Tone Shaper. So just to hear what a big difference it makes, let's disable those 3 instances of the Tone Shaper, and then we'll compare them there and see what we've got.
Woke up this morning, my feet to the floor and the darkness is faded. And you know it comes back around like the hope I found. And when I lift you up, will you hold me down? You know it keeps getting harder when we get farther away from who we were meant to be. You keep on reminding me. Woke up this morning, my feet to the floor and the darkness is faded. And you know it comes back around like the hope I found. And when I lift you up, will you hold me down? You know it keeps getting harder when we get farther away from who we were meant to be. You keep on reminding me, it don't matter who I was back then, cause we came a long way from back in the day, and that's a win.
All right, so even if you don't have that much experience with parallel compression, you can very easily tell what a massive sonic difference this can make. And with Tone Shaper, we get a lot of really powerful tools packed in here, but implemented in a way that's very easy to start blending these parallel process chains and do it with a very unique sound. I'm gonna put a direct link to Manny Marroquin's Tone Shaper plugin below. Be sure to check it out. I know you all are gonna get a lot out of this one. If you learn anything in the video, please like, subscribe, and consider sharing. We'll talk to you soon.